The following segment is sponsored by Smith Injury Law and 300hurt.com.
Welcome back. Whether you're injured on the job, injured in a car wreck, or something else unexpected happens, we don't always immediately know the smartest way to react or preserve our rights. Richard Smith from Smith Injury Law does, and he joins us here this morning as he does every Tuesday to keep us well informed and prepared for what comes our way. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
Thanks for being here. Now, last week you gave us a good general overview of workers' compensation, including what to do if you're hurt on a job. This week we're going more in depth on how a claimant gets compensated. But first, what's the first thing somebody should do if they are hurt on the job?
Very first thing you need to do is report the injury. Make sure it's reported accurately. Sometimes you can tell the person I was hurt, but if you don't follow up and make sure there's a report made, it doesn't get reported.
Absolutely. You've got to stay on top of that to make sure that process
Very important.
happens. And then jumping ahead, how is a claimant compensated? That's today's topic.
Basically, on a workers' compensation case, if you're injured on the job, you're entitled to your medical treatment provided by your employer, and if you're out of work, you're entitled to receive workers' compensation checks while you're out of work, authorized by the authorized treating doctor. Then if you have a permanent injury, or you're unable to go back to work and you have an income loss or total disability claim, that's where your settlement comes in at the end of your case. That's what we do.
And it's important to point out that people shouldn't be afraid to file a claim, because it's not like you're bringing legislation or litigation against your employer. The claim is different.
Absolutely. I have many clients who've been injured, sometimes injured surgically, have to have surgery, that go back to work for the same employer. It comes down to, we have a very low unemployment rate right now in the country, and if you're a good worker and they value your services, they're not going to just fire you if you get hurt on the job. Now, we also are in a state that's called a right-to-work state, both in South Carolina and North Carolina, so you don't have a guaranteed right to your job anyway, unless you have a contract of some sort of contract of employment. So not bringing the claim because you're afraid of losing your job, you may still get fired because you got hurt. I mean, some employers unfortunately do that. So if you're hurt, don't decline medical treatment. I've seen that be a big problem in people's cases. Be sure you report the accident. And if you report the accident and you end up being all right, you don't have to pursue anything. But if you don't report the accident and then you find out that you're injured severely and you need surgery or something, they're going to deny your claim.
And that's what you see when people aren't preserving their rights. They're not getting that on paper.
People try to avoid bringing the claim because they think they're going to get fired or get in trouble. And so they just tough it out. Maybe they go to their family doctor, they'll go to the emergency room. And then later they find out, this problem is more severe than I thought it was. I need to go talk to my employer about what happened. Well, now you've waited a week or two, they're going to deny your claim.
Gotcha.
And now you have a really difficult uphill battle because they go to the emergency room, they're afraid to report it as a workers' comp claim because their insurance won't cover it, so they don't say it happened on the job. Well, guess what? That's the best evidence they use against them. Well, you went to the emergency room and you didn't say this happened on the job. You didn't say anything about being hurt on the job. Well, then all these records are used against you in your case. So preserve your evidence.
Definitely good information for people to keep in mind. And I know you at Smith Injury Law, you will help to, and you'll schedule a free consultation for anybody who has any questions, they want to discuss their situation. What does that entail?
Basically, we're doing right now, we sit down and talk to the client, get the information, find out about what happened, talk to them about what their rights are, what their options are, and there's no fee for any of that.
Yeah, it's an easy enough thing to do. So from workers' comp to personal injury and vehicle collision, Smith Injury Law can handle it all, and you've been doing that in this community since 1987. What do you want people to know about your practice?
Well, that we're local and that we're here for you. I mean, I commute every day from Spartanburg to Greenville. I have an office in Spartanburg. I have an office in Greenville. I was in Asheville yesterday for a mediation. I do work in North Carolina also. And I'm here available to answer questions and to help you. And we think that's a positive over calling somebody who's not in the area, who maybe is 4 hours away. And we've even had some people that have been going online and hiring law firms that are multiple states away.
Right.
And they're not even licensed to practice in the state of South Carolina or North Carolina. And I know about that because they've been calling me saying, hey, we have this case we took a year and a half and 2 years ago. We need you to file suit on it. I said, well, why are you calling me? You shouldn't be practicing law in a state that you're not licensed to practice law in anyway. So remember, there's a lot of good local attorneys here, not just my firm. There's a lot of good local attorneys in Spartanburg and in Greenville and Anderson. Call somebody local. That's my recommendation to you. And I'm not just talking about me. I mean, there are other good lawyers in Greenville and Spartanburg besides my firm, but I would hope that you give me a chance.
Absolutely. And when somebody does give you a chance, they're working with you directly, not a paralegal.
Absolutely. I have a paralegal and I have assistants, but I work on all of my cases personally. And you're going to be able to talk to me if you need to. And we do everything we can to help our clients. And that's what I've been doing for the last 30 years.
Well, we certainly love having you in here every week, and we look forward to having you back. You can get in touch with Richard Smith by calling 300HURT or visit 300HURT.com. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Send it back to you in the studio.